When my boss started replying to my draft texts, I realized she was watching everything I typed. I was 19 juggling college classes and a part-time shift at a vintage clothing boutique. The store had just hired a new manager, Dana. She came in with a bright smile and a clipboard full of new policies. After my first week, she called me into the back office and slid my phone across the table. "We're rolling out a safety app called SafeShift," she said. "It lets us ping you if there's an emergency, and it helps us keep track of inventory runs." She tapped a few buttons, handed the phone back, and winked. "Just keep it on, okay?" I didn't think much of it. The app icon looked harmless. A shield with a pulse line. I assumed it would only send a silent alert if I pressed a panic button. What I didn't see was the permission screen she'd already granted herself. Full access to my location, photos, messages, even the drafts folder in my social media apps. First it felt like a glitch. I'd get a text from Dana at 2 a.m. asking, "Who are you with right now?" I'd reply, "Just studying," and she'd follow up with a laughing emoji and a question about whether I'd eaten. Then she started commenting on memes I had only drafted, posts I hadn't even decided to share. One night I drafted a joke about a shirt that said, "I'm with Stupid," and saved it as a draft. 10 minutes later Dana replied to that draft with a comment. "LOL, you're hilarious." Faced with tears of joy, I felt sick. It was as if she were reading my thoughts before I'd even decided to share them. The breaking point came when my best friend Alex texted me asking if I wanted to crash his place after his shift. I typed, "Sure, what time?" and hit send. A few seconds later my phone buzzed with a reply that wasn't mine. "Sure thing, buddy. Can't wait to see you. Party popper, party popper, party popper." I stared at the screen. The tone was overly enthusiastic, littered with exclamation points and emojis I never used. I called Alex, bewildered. He laughed, saying, "Dude, why are you texting like a soccer mom? Did you get hacked?" I checked the conversation and saw Dana's name as the sender. She had hijacked my chat, pretending to be me, and was now inviting Alex to hang out under my name. I felt violated, like a stalker lived inside my own pocket. I tried to brush it off, telling myself she was just overzealous, but each intrusion eroded my trust. I started locking my phone with a second password, only to find Dana had somehow bypassed it. She must have kept a backup key through the app's admin settings. The constant surveillance turned my breaks into anxiety-filled checks. Was she watching where I went? Was she reading my private text to my sister? I decided I couldn't stay silent. I gathered evidence. Screenshots of her unsolicited replies, the app's permission list showing she had device administrator rights, and a log of the time she messaged me outside work hours. I walked into the store's HR office, handed over the folder, and calmly explained that the app was being used to monitor personal communications, not just for safety alerts. The HR representative, Ms. Patel, listened, then pulled up the company's policy on employee privacy. It clearly forbade any monitoring of personal devices without explicit, written consent, and even then, only for work-related communications. An investigation followed. Dana was called in, confronted with the evidence, and initially defended her actions as looking out for the team. When shown the draft comment and the impersonated text, she fell silent. The company disabled SafeShift on all employee phones, issued a formal apology, and revised its policy. Any safety-related app must be opt-in, limited to location sharing during shifts, and subject to quarterly audits. Dana was reassigned to a non-supervisory role, and required to complete a training on workplace boundaries. Looking back, what bothered me most wasn't the technology itself, it was the feeling that my private thoughts were no longer mine. A tool meant for safety became a conduit for control. The lesson I took away is simple. Trust is earned, not imposed. When surveillance masquerades as care, it erodes the very relationships it claims to protect. Now, whenever I see a new safety feature pop up on my phone, I ask myself who really benefits, and whether I'm comfortable handing over the keys to my digital life.